As you can see, we've got a lot to talk about on this chart, so let's take a look at what's going on. You can see VeChain here specifically still stuck under this big daily fair value gap here, as you can quite clearly tell. Looking like we're starting to coil up a little bit here, trying to figure out which direction we're potentially going to be going. If I had to guess, I would say after sweeping out so much liquidity to the downside, we've basically come down here on VeChain's chart and swept out this bear market range low. You can see we were in a bit of a range for the bear market for a while. VeChain's starting to look bullish. As you can see, we've got the Trump pump. We come down into the tariff dump area at the start of the year. Tariffs obviously dumping down Ethereum like this. And then since then, Ethereum recovered back to an all-time high. Meanwhile, we've got altcoins absolutely stagnating and not knowing what to do, really. Coming down into a very obvious range here for VeChain. Looking like it's pretty weak, to be honest. And then we obviously come into, over the summer, this even tighter coil of a range for VeChain here. Started to look like we were losing market structure again to the downside, and then obviously that huge liquidation manipulation that we saw to the downside, where with this massive... this has got to be a 50 or 60% candle to the downside, 55, 56% before recovering back up inside the bear market range low, closing back above here, looking pretty bullish, and then since then bouncing back up, rejecting out of this daily fair value gap still here, as you can see, and really just trying to figure out where to go next. As always, we're pretty much just following what Bitcoin's doing. You can see here a little bit of a relief rally, people buying back in after such an immense drop, and then we kind of reached the point where everyone's like, okay, we're probably going to have a little bit of a consolidation and a chill. I would say, what are we looking at here?